I want to go just with the flow of Mr. Michael Smith and in the presence of Dr. Clint.
Mhm.
Hey, here we go. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello from wherever in the world you are. We're so glad that you're here with us today on the Ancient Secrets Global Miracle Call. I'm Carol Ray from Central Texas, and our host today is Mr. Michael Smith. Hello, Michael.
Hello. Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
We're so happy to have you here. And we have a full day for you and just a couple of announcements while people are coming in that at the end of the call, we will have special groups for those of you who are playing the Miracle Experiment game. Registration has closed now, but we have a large group of people who will be meeting. And then you'll have our normal breakout rooms available to those of you who aren't yet or who aren't participating in the Miracle Experiment game. We also have an announcement. Can we get the music stop right? Thank you. So we also want to announce that I don't know how many people here sign up for the newsletter, the Ancient Secrets newsletter. Yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in your inbox. And there's, it says in there that our Miracle Experiment Journal is available on Amazon, and it's not quite soup yet. It's coming, and we're excited that it's coming. But do keep an eye out for that, and we'll make an announcement when that's ready for purchase. So thanks for your understanding on that. And let's see, what else do we have to say?
Just seeing so many beautiful people on the call.
Happy birthday to
Even our
me.
Happy
happy
birthday to
birthday,
Linda Smith
Linda.
Happy
in
birthday,
Mount
Linda.
Shasta.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone, so it's tiny.
Oh, that's so fun. Happy birthday, Linda.
Happy birthday, Linda.
I'm seeing our friends from Switzerland on the call too. Fantastic. Oh.
They're waving an eggplant for you, Linda.
Yeah. Here, I'll spotlight that you guys just for a second, even why not? Uh, amazing. So good to see everyone on the call today. Aparna, Belle, Bridget, Therese, and Bree. Fantastic. Everyone's ready for the miracle experiment. I know Leonore, it's your birthday recently too. Anyone else's birthday recently, maybe you could just put it in the chat as well. We celebrate you.
Whose birth week and birth month is it?
Okay.
What's your check?
Ayan.
Hello, hello.
All right. Is it over to me?
It's over to you, Michael.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm just so honored to be here with everyone and to circle up about something that lives at the core of healing and every purpose and every soul's mission, and that's love. And I just want to share this quote from Dr. Naram that from the book Gratitude for the love we receive is like forging a key. It grants us entry into new levels of healing. That one of the things I love about the ancient secrets is that it talks about how love is medicine. And we've seen so many examples of love being medicine, from healing people from coming out of comas to other maladies and conditions to my own healing. And we've even seen people return from the dead, with the Alcenas being clinically dead for 48 minutes. But let's just begin with a few sacred breaths and put your hand on your heart and inhale, I receive love. And exhale, I am love. Again, inhale, I receive love. Exhale, I am love. One more time, inhale, I receive love. Exhale, I am love. And I want to honor the lineage that and Dr. Clint and Dr. Naram and the sacred lineage back to Jivaka that has been healing the souls and hearts of people for thousands of years. And how beautiful this is. And so many of you have heard, and if you haven't, I'm writing a book on how to receive love, remembering your heart and soul's purpose. And it's quite an undertaking, as there have been many books written on how to find love, how to give love, even how to make love. But there's virtually nothing written on this idea of how to receive love. And as I've talked to people, the only thing I've heard people be worse at is remembering names. People always say, I'm terrible at remembering names. But I also hear them say, oh, it's easy for me to give love, but to receive love, to let it in, that's hard. And just in the chat, would you just type in if it's easier to receive or to give love for you? Let's just see how this group is. To give love, give, equal, give. So I think that the voting is skewed to the gives. We'll go there.
Easier to give for me. I don't have access to a written chat. Thanks for understanding.
Oh, that's beautiful, Linda. And I want to also just pause for a minute to just talk about what is love, because there's many definitions of love. And love is more than just romance. In ancient Greek, there's many words for love. We only have one in English. In the Greek, they have the word agape, which is unconditional divine love, philia, which is a friendship, a deep soul friendship, eros, which is the romantic love, the life force, the sacred desire, storge, which is the love of country, and one that was new to me is philautia, of self-love, of loving yourself. So when we talk about how to receive love, that's a broader concept that what we're talking about, what I'm talking about here is to receive the kind of love that holds the subatomic particles together and the stars in the sky. The kind of love that we're literally drowning in, but find it so difficult to receive. So today I'm going to take you through a little bit of what the book is about and just share some ideas. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pencil or something to write with, I'd invite you to grab one now, because we'll be doing a self-love assessment process that will help you to understand what your ability to give and receive love is. And literally, we are surrounded by infinite love and can receive that amount, that infinite love, and be able to reflect that. And the ultimate goal here today is to help us to understand some of the obstacles of what we've been doing, because this isn't a self-help book. This is a self-remembering book, a remembering that you're already whole and worthy, and you don't need to do one thing to receive love, that you are whole and complete as you are. And but I do want to just talk a little bit about why it's so difficult, and many of us struggle to receive it, even though we are love. The three reasons I've discovered in myself and others is we were taught to earn it. Love became a reward. You know, every single person as a child was culturized that love is a reward, something conditional. Be good, be quiet, be strong, be useful, and then maybe you'll be worthy of love. So we started feeling like we're not enough. We were taught to protect ourselves from it. Somewhere along the way, love hurt. Every single one of us. Someone left or didn't show up. Someone died, someone divorced, someone rejected us, and it hurt. And we said, I'll never let that happen again. And we started laying the bricks of building the walls. And we forgot who we are. And the deepest reason we can't receive love is because we become strangers to ourselves, putting on our masks. And we've abandoned the innocent, brilliant, beating heart of who we truly are. And now when love knocks, no one's home. And so I just want to share a couple of things that will be in the book with you, and then we'll go into the self-love assessment process. So imagine a planet teeming with life, invention, music, art, intelligence, but when you look closely, something's missing. Not in the structures or the systems, but the eyes of its people. In this world, people are hungry, not just for food, but hungry to be seen, hungry to be safe, hungry to be loved. But when love knocks on their hearts, they flinch. When love calls, they turn away. When love is offered, they sabotage it, distrust it, and fear it. And so we repeat the cycle, the isolation, the control, the violence, the shame, not because we don't have love, but because we don't know how to receive it. This book, it's not a manual for self-help. It's a mirror for self-remembering. It's your invitation to stop chasing love and to start letting it in. Because when you remember how to receive love, you remember the truth. You were never broken. You were always loved. So I'm going to take us through the 8 infinite dimensions of love, and you'll be taking some notes about this, and we can pause for questions along the way. And Esther just said, Michael, yes, the love that is the essence of life. In boarding school, we sing a song called Love Hurts almost every day. Self-remembering, yes, it is the key that you're already whole and complete. So I want to share this truth with you that love isn't a feeling, love isn't an experience, but love is a way of being. And yes, it's the other things as well, but this remembering process that we're going to go through here is we're all multi-dimensional beings. And I'm going to walk you through, it's a little bit of we've heard of near-death experiences like Alcena, and many of you know my story about when my brother passed away. They performed an autopsy to find out what the cause of death it was for him. We're going to be performing a holiopsy on your cause of life and what your soul's purpose is, and what each of our soul's purpose is. It's a new terminology. There's a whole ecosystem I'm working on about receiving love, and we'll get into that here quickly because there's so much I want to talk about. This topic of love, you can go on forever. There's a great Hafez poem about tonight's topic is love. It's tomorrow's as well. In fact, I know of no better topic until we all die. And so that's how this meeting will continue to be. But I just want to say just a few, before we get into that, one last thing, some of the health benefits of love. That there's scientific evidence for the benefits of love, for being so amazing for us, and that love truly is medicine. It lowers your blood pressure, reduces your stress hormones like cortisol. It increases your oxytocin and bonding and healing hormones. It strengthens your immune function. It reduces anxiety and depression. It promotes faster recovery from illness and injury, improves heart health and longevity, enhances brain function and memory. It increases pain tolerance and leads to healthier habits. Love changes our brain chemistry, our cellular function, and even how long we live. It's a precursor to anyone engaging in the longevity movement. In fact, if you didn't love yourself, love your life, why would you want to live longer? If you're just living a life sentence on this rock, they called Alcatraz the rock, but this planet's also a rock. You know, this is not a prison. This is a playground for our souls. Our souls have come here to experience this life, and that's what we're going to go through here now. So these 8 dimensions begin with the 0 dimension. I have a PowerPoint presentation about this, but I want to just walk you through this and have you take notes and make your own PowerPoint slides on the paper in front of you. Put a dot on the paper. The 0 dimension is a single point in time and space, and this point in time and space is right here, right now. And maybe just put your hand over wherever your consciousness emanates from your body, if it's in your head or in your heart or where you feel the center of your being is, and just feel that zero dimension right here, right now, this present moment. Do you know that there's two types of nows? There's the nunc fluens and the nunc stans. The nunc fluens flows from the future to the past through this moment. It's a flowing now. The nunc stans is the standing now, which is the eternal now, which contains everything. And if you ever step fully into the nunc stans, the standing now, you can never leave, because that's all there is. But from this point of now, I'd like you to draw a line and put another dot, which is the first dimension. This is your holy time. And put your date of birth. We're celebrating birthdays at the beginning of this call. So put your date of birth on the left side, and you could put today's date on the right side. This holy timeline, this sacred timeline, is the time of your life. And I imagine most of you drew a straight line because I told you to for once, but maybe put some ups and downs in this, because your timeline, the time of your life, has not been ups and downs. I mean, not been flat. You've had your ups and downs. You've had the highest of the highs you've known and the lowest of the lows you've known. And your highs have been the highest you can possibly know, and the lowest have been the lowest that you could possibly know. But you've also can imagine higher highs and lower lows. So there's things to be depressed about, things to be grateful for. But this is your time. This is your life. And in the chat, I'd love for you to just put down, and we're going to stick with the first dimension on a scale from 0 to 8, with you absolutely hate your life, a 0. You despise it, to an 8 being, I absolutely infinitely love my life and the time of my life. I'm so grateful for it. Just a score from 0 to 8, anything in between. And go ahead and put that in the chat now. That dash, by the way, represents the sum and substance of your life. And if you look at that, what you've written, it kind of looks, could be a tombstone from the date of your birth to today's date. We don't know if we're going to survive this date, but that dash will one day be on a tombstone. And this is your time to live it up, to engage in your soul's purpose. Now, from that date of your birth date, I'd like you to just do a little short dash and another dot. And now we're not going to go into specifics about this, because I'm about to gross everybody out. But if you think about the 9 months before your birth date, is when the two people on the planet that you'd like to think about having sex the least, mom and dad, conceived you. And that's when you really started your soul's journey. And this brings in the second dimension of your holy body, your bioenergenetics is what I like to call it. And to ask yourself on that same scale from 0 to 8, and you can put that in a moment, and maybe Cornelia could write that we're talking about the second dimension just for the notes. And let's go into this just a minute. That do you love who you are genetically? The 23 chromosomes from mom, the 23 chromosomes from dad that make your 46 chromosomes that give you who you are. Do you love that you're male or female? Do you love that your race, your ethnicity? Do you love the family that you were born in? And it's okay if you don't. You didn't ask to be born. Those two people got together, and we know at least one of them had a good time. And you started on this journey. I love the joke that if women had to orgasm in order to conceive, there'd be a lot fewer people on the planet. Well, we'll talk about that in another time, but it is a reality of the situation of life. So, but think about all the things, your IQ, the way that your intelligence, that you were given, all the things that combine, that the cards that life dealt you, that you are given to live this life in, to experience this body, this reality, this time of your life in. So on a scale of 0 to 8, how much do you love your body, your family? And I'm going to take it a step further that if we talk about just our immediate family, but also our ancestral family, your grandparents, great grandparents. If we go back 65,000 years to mitochondrial Eve, we're all from the same woman, that, we're one big, happy, dysfunctional family and living out life the time of our life on this rock. And it surprises me that we have statues built to people whose names we don't even know in places all over this world, of people that lived out their times. They must have done great things, but we don't even know who they are anymore. So this is our time to do great things too. So in the book, I go into these much more, seeing some sevens and eights. Uh, we've got some people are off the scale, but these are things that people we often hear. And earlier today we were talking about the purpose and how hard it is for young people to find purpose, and the different purposes we have in life. I heard of a young boy that's quite close to me that tried to take his life this week, and that he wasn't successful in that, which is but when we have more purpose in life and the reasons for living, and love who we are, life is so much brighter. So we've got if we made the line, made it like a genealogy tree with mom and dad, grandpa and grandpa, and going further all the way back to our great grandparents. One of the things that amazes me that how many people know their 16 great great grandparents' names? you know, if you think about everything you do for your kids, could you do me one favor? Tell your kids to tell their kids to tell their kids to tell their kids my name. That's all. You don't have to give them my whole history, just my name. Can you do that for me? We don't know it. Look how fast we forget who we are and who we came from. But guess what? Their noses are sitting on our faces. And so has their experience of love been passed down through generations. One of the most important things we can do is not so much the legacy we leave our children, but what we don't pass through to them. So the third dimension, if you bring in we've got the horizontal, the vertical, and now we're going to bring in the perpendicular to the 3D world. Now, what is your 3D world like? We do know that there is a shared reality, but however, it's very individuated. We have 18 billion perspectives of reality. And, we even twins that grew up in the same family see the world so differently. And we all see the world so differently. But how is your reality, and do you love the reality that you are living in? And by the reality, I mean the things that you've taken in from your five senses. What are the books you've read? What are the lectures you've heard? What are the school classes you attended? What are the things that you have been told? How have you been touched? What have you smelled? And had you read different books? Had you been heard different lectures? Do you understand? Does it make sense? You have the neuroplasticity that you would see the world totally different than you do currently. And if you don't like the way that you see the world, that you can read different books, you can get different information and have a completely different reality. A lot of that was hard to change because we're imprinted by the time we're 3 and 4 with our reality maps that we seldom ever question. But on a scale from 0 to 8, again, how do you love the way that you see the world? And you can write that down on your paper and as well as put it in the chat, and we'll just keep going. We're going to skip over the fourth dimension because the fourth dimension is where we integrate the lower 3 with the upper 3. And this is where, these, if you haven't noticed already, I forgot to mention this, also coincide with the chakra system, that the first dimension is your root to survival chakra of the time of your life. And I can assure you that all of yours is working because you're here, you're alive. And the second chakra of the holy body comes from our second chakra. Our beliefs and emotions and comes from the third chakra. The fourth chakra is the anahata chakra, where we give and receive love. And this is where, if we can receive infinite love, we'll have infinite love to be and to radiate. So moving on to the fifth is and the fifth dimension, um, is the the holy voice. And not so much the voice that you used to that you're hearing me speak right now, but the voice that you're hearing inside of your head about, oh, this guy, I knew all this, I didn't. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Whatever it is that your uh, internal monologue or dialogue, trialogue, quadrilogue, whatever, there we have many different voices that play. How does this voice speak to you? I've heard it said that some of the most violent um, behavior or communication that takes place is within ourselves. That we say things to ourselves that we would never say to other people. Oh, you dummy, you screwed up again. Oh, you're not good enough. And a lot of those voices aren't even ours. Those come from mom or dad or school teacher or friends from the second dimension when we were where we grew up and are just playing out in our fifth, in that voice that we're hearing in our head. And if you sit quietly for a moment, you recognize there's more than one voice. And we have the voice of the ego, and we also have the voice of the soul. And the voice of the ego has been, it's something that each of us has, and it's a software program that's so wonderful. It was put in place to protect us from jumping off of tall buildings and to keep us alive and to make sure we weren't hurt. And so we learned to identify with the ego and to don't try it. They're going to laugh at you. Oh, they're, you know what they say about uh, fill in the blank that you identify with. But there's a soul inside there, a soul voice that is also available, that you can put your arms around your ego and say, thank you. Thank you for loving me so much. You wanted to take every arrow and every sling and every insult and every injury that came my way and have done your best to keep me safe. But I now understand I have a soul in here as well, that fire cannot burn, water cannot wet, the wind cannot dry. And I'd like to live from my soul instead of my fear and from my ego. But if I'm ever on top of a tall building, please keep me from jumping off, thinking I can do that. And I still need you around. But by embracing this aspect of ourselves that has been keeping us down, we can learn that it's not the enemy. We don't need to perform an ego side or an ego death, as some people talk about. We can just thank it, because it's not going away. It's part of the wiring of us, and to be grateful for this aspect of us that has been doing everything it can to protect us when we didn't need protection, when we showed up just being loved and vulnerable and completely dependent on whatever environment we were born into to be supportive of us. And this voice, when you can listen and really you need to slow down and meditate and to hear that voice of your soul, of what is it you're here for. We'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But going up to the sixth dimension is the holy vision, your third eye, and seeing with your third eye. And oh wait, I forgot, before we go there, if you just quickly put in the chat 0 to 8 of how kind that voice, that inner voice is to you on a scale of, oh man, that voice beat me up all the time, a 0, to that voice is just like, you got this, you are amazing. You can jump off tall buildings. Well, maybe not tall buildings, but you know what I mean. And something to think about too is what would it take to on each of these dimensions to get to an 8, and that's one of the things we talk about. In addition to the book, there's an 8-day challenge and an eight-week course that we're doing. But going to that sixth dimension of the holy vision of when you look at if you put your view on gallery view, if you see more people here, that every single person in this world is a multidimensional, dealing with this ability to either to receive and give love at an infinite scale. And if you're anything less than infinite, even if your ability to love is 7,632,432, that's closer to 0 than it is to infinity. And once you have access to infinite love, you are able to just flow with this love in an infinite loop. But as you have this insight that you look at, just pick someone at random that's on the call and just go through a quick self-love assessment with compassion of what's their life like now? Where are they now? How old are they? How many ups and downs have they had in their life? The fact that you have ups and downs in lives is evidence that you're alive, because if that timeline was flat, they call that flatline, and you're dead, or you're not really living. And so that's why you need to have some ups and downs in life. It makes life worth living. But also, how much do they love their genetics and the family they come from, their race, their ethnicity, their gender, their IQ, and what advantages or challenges has this had by just how they were born and how the cards they were dealt? And what's their reality like? What books have they read? What do they believe? What do they think that the world is really like, and get curious about that? And what's their ability to love? And what's their inner voice saying to them? By just asking yourself these questions, I'm looking at many of you right now, and I can't fit all of you on one screen, even though it's as many as possible. That feel the compassion that wells up inside of you from that insight. That not only am I going through this, but so is every other being on this planet going through this. Isn't that amazing? And here's where it gets a little better. And I'm about to blow your mind and land you in your heart. So when we go up to the seventh dimension, or the crown chakra, where the holy infinity, the holy oneness, and the holy now exists. If you remember, the 0 dimension was also called the holy now. So is the 8th dimension. Bring it all back into this holy, the holy now. The nuke stands. It's easy to see other planets are exactly the way the creator designed them, functioning perfectly. I've never heard anyone complain about the weather on Mars, but everyone has opinions about the weather on Earth. And maybe it affects us more, but everyone has ideas about what Earth should be like versus what Pluto should be like, or should it be a planet or not? And we have this idea, okay, well, the entire solar system, however it was created, is functioning just right. It's just this planet that's screwed up. But what if this moment is perfect, whole, and complete, just as you are perfect, whole, and complete, and nothing needs to change? What if we just loved ourselves and what is as is, because it is, and trust that whatever that intelligence is that beats our heart, that fills our lungs, also knows what's happening on a global scale, that is unfolding without surprises, without anxiety, nothing to get worked up over, we can still engage. We still have ultimate freedom and ultimate responsibility and ability to choose how we show up and what we experience in life, but we don't need to be stressed and anxious about it. If there's any order, the best example I've ever heard for the I don't know about argument, but description of God is that there's either order or chaos in the universe, and if it's chaotic, then yeah, you should be stressed and worried about how the world's going and stressed about everything and being anxious. But if there's order and chaos and the book Solve for Happy by Mo Guadat is one of my favorite. Two books I've cried at is that book and Les Miserables, the unabridged edition. But he gave the example for God that if you were to roll 30 dice continuously until all 30 came up sixes, it would take more than 15.8 billion years, statistically speaking, to get all sixes on all 30 dice. And he said, so the idea that there's not that there's, how do you say it? There's not enough time for it to just be chance to have 30 dice roll all sixes in 15.8 billion years, let alone create life on the planet that it is. So that would be the greatest indicator, that there is an intelligence and a creator behind all of this. And if that's the case, just relax, you know, because whenever we have an opinion that life should be different than it is, it's like as if we were to say to God, you should have asked me how to do this and create this world better. Through my keyhole perspective of my third dimension, I can tell you how things should be. But this world is happening not to us, but for us to be able to experience ourselves and experience love. So bringing it full circle then back to the fourth chakra, the fourth to the heart. When we bring down the upper three, when we bring down the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we see ourselves and others, and also the divinity that there's not a place where you end and the universe begins. You are the universe, and by definition, wherever that 0 point is that you point your hand on at the beginning of this call, that extends to infinity in all directions, making you the center of the universe. That's how important you are, that you are here. But so is everyone else too. When we have this if people talk about a multiverse, I talk about a uh, multi-person planetary experience with a multiple reality that it's amazing we even agree on anything, with how we are. So I just want to open up for a couple questions or comments about going through this self-love assessment, being able to give yourself a score of 0 to 8, and if you didn't catch on, that was 0 to infinity. Whenever you gave yourself an 8, that was an infinite score. So any questions, comments? Anyone want to raise their hand? Any insights that came in before we move into a the sacred acronym of I love my holy life? Belle, I see your hand.
Hey, Annie. You mentioned Les Miserables. I got that one, but the book prior to that, we didn't quite get the title of. That's one of your favorites.
Solve for Happy.
Say it again.
Solve for Happy. I'll put it in the chat here.
That first word is still a mystery.
There you go. Solve for Happy.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mo Guadat was the chief engineer at Google in charge of the Solve for X department, where they take on global challenges. And he had his son died from a very simple surgery with a medical error, and he said, "I'll never be happy again."
Oh.
He set out to do just that, to solve for happy, how he could be happy again. And his story is so beautiful about him and his journey with his grief and his life and his continued relationship with his son.
Oh.
And it's just so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for this, Michael. It's you're brilliant and passionate and so engaged. And I say out of this call this morning, we're all blessed to go to raise the numbers that we have gotten present to just by being here. So
Well, it was so fun to be with you in Mount Shasta.
yeah, yeah, it was great. But it just really, thank you, Michael. It's like receiving love. What a concept.
Yes, yes, and there's only two numbers I want you all to keep in mind: zero and infinity. And just because if you're anything but that eight and infinite, you're closer to zero, and not that that's a problem because you're able to still. Um, there's so many things I want to share about.
And you'll continue this conversation. I mean, this is like the introduction. And
Yes.
what I get also that I haven't heard you mention, but because we're looking 0 to 8, to infinity, um, is that every moment we get to choose. So there's that aspect of, oh, what do I choose now?
Exactly. Absolutely. And that's, we can live our life on autopilot.
Yeah.
And, we have conditioning and that will have us react in a certain way. That's called our ego. But if we live from your soul, that's when you get to choose. What does my soul choose?
Yeah. Well, and the other piece, which always comes up for me recently, when you speak about our ego, we put our egos together between that first dot and about 7 years old, just given and by Bruce Lipton, kind of our energetics around us, our parents or the conditions or the things we have and didn't have. So that ego is in there to protect, but it also trips us up. It's not the highest. It's not our highest self. It's not the soul self. So
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's there to protect us, and we can be grateful for it, and not to make it the enemy. It's not because it's every part of how we were created is divine. You are divine. There's a there in uh, uh, in Nehemiah. You can correct me on this. In Hebrew, they say kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. Adonai Svaat, that holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is filled with his glory. The whole earth, the whole universe, the grain of sand, you are filled with his glory. And do you see the glory of?
They also say, "Ve'enod mi bilto." There is nothing that exists that is not him.
Well, then, and we also know that God is love, and there's nothing that exists that isn't love. And that's the kind of love that we're opening up to receive. That full infinite love of the divine. I do want to say one quick thing, then we'll go on. There's one more concept I want to share, then we'll close. Is that in that sixth dimension of the third eye, there's different levels of consciousness. And Turiya is called the fourth level of consciousness. The first is waking consciousness, and I hope that everybody here is there. I know some people had a late night and aren't quite there, and they're in what's called dream consciousness, the second level of consciousness, where there's different rules that apply. You can walk through walls, you can teleport, you can be in one place and you can see people. That's the second level of consciousness. The third level of consciousness is deep sleep. And deep sleep consciousness is we don't even know where we go, what happens to the brain, but we need on average at least an hour a night for wherever our brain goes to heal, to flush the neurotoxins that we have in the brain out when we're in deep sleep. And the fourth state is called Turiya, and that's called the witness consciousness. And you can live your life from a witness, practicing witnessing from that sixth dimension, that you don't have to identify with what's happening. You can be experiencing everything, but you're witnessing from your soul. And there's a beautiful state. Turiya is called the bliss and love state as well, that you can just be full of gratitude all the time for this opportunity to be alive. Beyond fourth is called Triyatita. And Triyatita is a state that you can't take somebody to, you dissolve into it. And when you no longer experience a subject and an object, it's a non-dual state where there is only oneness. And it's not something that you can strive for or do things. In fact, it's just the opposite. You need to do nothing to experience everything. And you relax into it and it just happens. And maybe some of you have experienced this at times, and maybe in nature. And when you've been recently coming back from Sedona, I stopped at the Grand Canyon and I was in such awe that time stood still. And those are the times when you're entering infinity. And so Turiya, the fourth state, and Triyatita, the state beyond fourth, are aligned with the sixth and seventh dimensions of each of us. And to be able to experience life from that perspective, instead of caught up in like all the busyness, it's entering the bliss state and truly being that infinite love. So I want to just share one other sacred acronym that I live by, one that helps me and others to return to love again and again. And that's, if you write down, I love my holy life. And it's spelled like this. I'll put it in the chat. I love my holy life. And the I stands for Ikigai. And this is a concept of what is your soul's purpose? What is your purpose for being here? This comes from the area of Okinawa, which is a blue zone, where people live longer than other places on the planet. And this is the convergence of four quadrants of what are you good at? What do you love? What is the what are you good at? What do you which is what do you love to do? What does the world need? What can you get paid for? Hold on. What are you good at? What do you love to do? What does the world need, and what can you get paid for? The convergence of those four is your ikigai. Now, there's some people who love to sing, but they're not very good at it. You know, that's something that that's not your ikigai. You know, you can get better at it, but you know, you need to be good at it. You love to do it. The world needs it, and you can get paid for it. And that convergence is your soul's purpose. Now, this goes on to the L, which is what do you like and love to do? What produces endorphins? You can't go out and find your ikigai. Your ikigai finds you, but in order for it to find you, you need to be doing those things that you love to do, that you like to do, that light you up. You know, maybe there are things that scare you. Maybe that is an indication that your ikigai is outside of your current comfort zone. Maybe you need to try jumping out of an airplane or picking up an instrument to find out what it is that you really love and let it find you. The O, it stands for orgasmic peak and plateau experiences. Make sure that you're having orgasmic peak and plateau experience in life, or your life isn't worth living. Well, not necessarily, but you know, the Abraham Maslow, which I have a book over here, he talked about you know, peak experiences in Maslow's hierarchy of needs and reaching the top of the pyramid. Guess what? There's no pyramid. He said later in life he flattened it. It's a spiral, and it's we're not finding peak experiences because you already are the peak of your experience, and you just need to embrace who you are. You know, you don't have to get any better. You already are perfect and whole and complete as you are, and you're on a spiral journey. He talked about self-transcendence later in life. But then he died shortly after. In fact, he died the day that Wayne Dyer was getting his PhD, and he felt that that was a passing of the torch from Abraham Maslow to Wayne Dyer to continue on this journey of teaching that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I'd like to take that one step further and to share the message that we're all divine beings having a divine experience. That there's nothing to worry about because everything's unfolding exactly as it was created. Now, it might not be to our liking in this current moment, but I hesitate to tell you this if you don't know, but we're all going to die. Once we die, everything I think opens up. We have a broader perspective of what really happened. And you know what we're going to say is like, I sure hope I lived. You know, did instead, people are going to say, did you have a life or did you have a near life experience? Did you almost live or did you really open it up? Did you figure out what your soul was meant to do that scared the hell out of you? And then did you love the hell out of this world? We'll talk more about that in just a second. But so yes, orgasmic peak and plateau. And he didn't talk about peak experience. He talked about raising the water table to have plateau experience where you maintain that bliss, that joy, that awe constantly throughout your life as well. The V stands for your value quotient. What is your VQ? And your VQ is an equation that is equals to your IQ, your intelligence, plus your EQ, your emotional intelligence, plus your SQ, your soul intelligence. And let me just unpack that just really quick. Your VQ, your value, is dependent on the set and setting. If I have a flat tire, I don't need a cardiologist, I need a mechanic or some skills to change the tire. If I'm having a heart attack, I don't want the mechanic to help me. I'd rather have a cardiologist perform bypass surgery on me. So, but what skills and abilities do you have? What languages do you speak? What musical instruments do you play? What have you done with your IQ, your EQ, and your SQ to increase your VQ so that you have more value to benefit and enrich yourself and your community, your family, and this world? We have a collective VQ, planetarily speaking. There was a time that we couldn't fly. Now we can. We fly all over the world. There was a time we couldn't have video conferencing like this. Now we can. We're increasing our value and abilities and capabilities, and it's that. Well, the E stands for emotional freedom and emotional states. What are the emotional states that you want to experience, and what are the ones that you want to let go of? There's a great book by David Hawkins called Letting Go. I recommend that to everyone about how to engage your emotions, to identify where they are in your body, and then to let them go. They don't stay. Nothing's permanent. Everything's changing all the time. And once you identify, embrace it, you can then let go of it. And the M and Y stands for me and you, because love is about relationships. Yes, you can self-love yourself till you're all alone. It reminds me of that bumper sticker that's not very appropriate. Jesus loves you, but everyone else thinks you're a jerk. And it said something else. But, relationship, your first and most beautiful love affair is with me, you. What do you do to love yourself? Do you take yourself out on dates, get massages, go to even the joy of meditating, doing those things that you love to do? Do you know what do you know what you love to do, and do you do it? Do you spend time in nature? Do you do self-care? Do you fully embody who you are? And who are the yous that love you, and who are the yous that you love? Do you spend time with the yous? Do you make investments and deposits in those relationship accounts? And the last word, holy life, is living fully, soulfully, and sacredly. That this life can be you can take a holiday and feel how good that feels, or you can embrace this entire life, that holy time, as your holy life. And this is a vacation for your soul, and to be fully engaged in your soul's purpose. And it's okay to not have it all figured out. You're perfectly imperfect just the way you are. That's why you're so lovable. And the more we just let that in. Belle, I see your hand up again. And then Luke.
Michael,
I just want to kind of quick go in between and say that we have about 5 minutes left because we have also then the people coming in just for the miracle experiment. And so if we can keep it short, please.
So just another point of clarification in this amazing hour spent with you, Michael, is so what you were doing was taking holy life, HOLIFE, and breaking it down. I just, into what each of those letters stand for. Is that correct? Is
Yes,
that
but I started with the I is Ikigai, L is like and love, O is orgasmic peak experiences, V is value quotient, E is emotional freedom, M is me, Y is you, and then holy life is still one word. So the acronym is I love my.
So Ikigai is the word that you were breaking down.
No, that's the I of I love my holy life is Ikigai.
I love my, okay, very good. So just a little bit more needed. I love my holy life. Okay, great.
It'll be in the book, don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. Do we, are we going to kind of buy the book on Amazon before it's published like that?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not that far yet.
Yeah, okay. All right, thanks, Michael.
But we'll end on time, Cornelia. Go ahead, Luke.
Well, I wanted to thank you, Michael. I know we talked on the phone recently and you gave me a little synopsis of all this, but this is your expansion today into this topic is beautiful. And I just want to mention, for me personally, with experiencing true love, not human love, but true love, unconditional love, the times that I have experienced such sweet, delicious love, the kind that has brought tears to my eyes because it's so unconditional, is during times of deep meditation. That's when I have experienced such incredibly deep, beautiful, unconditional love that's unlike human love, because in human love, there's a lot of expectations and so on. I love you. I hope you love me as much as I love you. And it hurts because oftentimes that kind of love doesn't always last. But the love that you feel with your God, your divine consciousness that I feel in deep meditations, that is the most spectacular, glorious, most delicious love that I have felt. And it's just beautiful. And that's the place I would like to be all the time, actually. So thank you for your words today.
Thank you, Luke. And you are. You are. Nehemiah.
Wow, wow, wow. How can I say it in few words and keep on the uplifting that you have created? I used to read so many books, and I read now only one book, which is my Bible, the autobiography of my teacher. And your book will be the next one. And the reason is because it will be another perspective on the same teaching. And I'm not that smart in my intellect to be able to encompass everything you gave today. So I'll listen again to this and then I'll read the book. But basically, I'm complete. I'm not complete inside yet, but I have everything I need to become complete. And only in one dimension, I'm still worrying sometimes, which is stupid, but I do sometimes. So when I stop to worry and I'm 24/7, which sounds like you are, everything will be, it's perfect the way it is, but it will be perfect also feeling perfect all the time. So I'll share something from the teaching that one of the main teachings that come from the Kabbalah. The word Kabbalah, people study Kabbalah for all their life and they are Kabbalists, they learn, but they are not Mekubal, they didn't receive because they don't go into the essence. And the essence of Kabbalah is so simple. The meaning of the word Kabbalah is to accept, Lakatit Dever Baba, to accept everything in your life, everything is divine. Then comes the other meaning. Once you fully accept, Kabbalah is to receive. The more you accept, the more you receive. So for me, just another way to say everything you were saying. Everything is about accepting everything that happened in our life is coming from spirit, and then opening to spirit to give us more. And if we resist and fight, then we block some of it, but it's okay. We'll open. And the last thing I want to share for my teacher, and it's nice that I think you have other teachers, they don't mention them, and I don't mention the name of mine because the focus is on the great lineage of Dr. Jivakar, and we have to stay focused there. But something beautiful that came from my teacher is respect everyone, that's including the criminal, in the place where they are in their journey, the same way that you have to respect yourself in the place where you are in your journey. So I'm coming from the place now that I'm evaluating. Some people I don't come close to because they're not good for me, but I'm not judging anybody, including the people who are destroying this world, or not. They'll not manage to destroy the world, but that are working negatively or whatever, because they're all part of the divine plan, and they are doing the best they understand, which is very limited sometimes, and they are in their journey. And I've been contracted. I created some criminal act in other lifetime. Therefore, I had to suffer, and we all did. But now I want to give only good to myself and to others.
That's
I'll
so
finish with
beautiful,
this.
Nekama. Thank you. Thank you so much. And that, you know, nobody needs the book I'm writing because you're already whole and complete. If you doubt that, this book will help you to understand you are whole and complete and never needed that book. And that you are perfect just the way you are. And I love what you just said about Kabbalah. I didn't know that, and I'm definitely going to look into that more. And I told Cornelia we'd end at 10. So I have one poem I can read that would take 2 minutes, or I just can end now. Which would you say?
Go ahead reading the poem, and that will then kind of end and really give a nice closing. Thank you.
All right. This poem's called The Love We Forgot to Receive. I climbed like they told me to, brick by brick, win by win, I rose. I built the dream, I made the money, I wore the mask, and I smiled wide. But now, when I got to the top, I found silence, not the kind that soothes you, the kind that hollows you. I had everything they said would make me feel full, but I felt thin, fractured, like I'd left pieces of myself behind on the road to enough. I was a high performer, a fixer, a leader, a provider, but never a receiver. And then I met her. Not one woman, but hundreds. Brilliant, bold, successful, silent in their sorrow, smiling through the burnout. She runs the company, raises the kids, holds the world together, and carries it all without ever being held. She's loved by many, but rarely seen. She gives her all, but forgets to breathe. She's the strong one, the good one, the one who forgot how to receive. And somewhere along the way, we all did. We forgot that love isn't earned, it isn't owed, it isn't a trophy or transaction. It's a remembering, a softening, a coming home to the place that never left. Love is not weak, it's medicine. It lowers your cortisol, heals your heart, strengthens your cells, regulates your breath. It is the most powerful force we were never taught to let in. You don't have to do more, prove more, fix more, give more. You just have to stop long enough to let yourself be loved, not for what you do, but for who you are, who you've always been, beneath the armor, beneath the hustle, beneath the ache. And this is divine leadership, not domination, but devotion, not performance, but presence, not hustle, but holy remembrance. So to every man who's tired of pretending he's not tired, and every woman who's tired of being everything for everyone, I see you. You're not broken, you're just ready to rest, to soften, to return, to love that can't be bought, to worth that can't be earned, to peace that doesn't require permission, to the soul that never stopped calling. Let's not just build success stories. Let's build soul stories and let it love us. Let's not just lead the world. Let's love the hell out of it and let it love us back, because in the end, the bravest thing you'll ever do is let yourself receive the love you've always been. May you remember you're not broken. You're beloved. Your heart and soul have one purpose: to receive love. Today, we've all taken a sacred step. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, Michael. That was a beautiful poem. I guess it sets the stage and closes really what you talked about. Thank you so much. And as usual, when we end the call, I would like us all to invite yourself to unmute yourself and rub your hands together. Thank you, Michael. I love you.
You and
I'm with you.
I am with you.
Beautiful Saint
I love you and I am with you.
Love you and I'm
I
with
love
you.
you.
love you and I'm with
Saint Denise and
I love
I
you and
love
I am
you
with
and I'm
you.
with you.
you and